welcome back to the Tolleson-Mack podcast. We're still at the Lazy Arena. We are over here with Trisha Price from Classic Ropes. How are you?
You're not going to use my stage name?
What was it? Ultima?
Ford Taurus, baby.
We were talking, like, before we started, we were talking about stage names, and people are sometimes overnamed. You know what I mean? No, I get it too. So, what's up? What do you do at Classic Ropes?
So I am the social media manager, and then I do all the trade shows. I go to a lot of events, public relations, stuff like that.
You got to deal with all these guys?
Yep.
That's actually my favorite title for her, is like she has to deal with multiple different personalities for the mostly healers in the PRCA.
Yeah, so that's a question, right? Say you have an interview set up with one of these healers and he rolls around there and throws it in the dirt. Do you just move that interview?
Oh no. We go straight to
take it.
Yeah.
Straight to it. All right. I like the views.
I mean, like, you try to. Half the time now they see me and they're like, no, Trish. No, Trish.
They're not going for it. So so for the people like watching, are you the person they call when they're like, hey, I need some ropes? Or I'm going to a different part of the country, because you were telling me before, like, you go to different parts of the country, you want a different lay on your rope.
Yeah. So, yeah. A lot of the guys, yes, that are my friends will call or just text me and I'll put their rope orders in for them. We do have a girl designated for that position. But being so close to the industry and growing up in it and roping myself and being friends with all these guys, a lot of them do contact me, so I handle all that stuff.
It's just easier.
Yep.
Kind of roll that way.
Yep. They can shoot me a text. Sundays. For some reason, Sundays are a really good day to order things.
Guys.
Yeah.
No way.
There's no sense of day or time if you're a team roper, so.
Well, that's probably when you got time, right? Like, on to the next one. So I got time. They're like, man, I got to get through all my shit right now.
11:30 at night, driving somewhere. Hey, can you send me some power lines?
Right.
Where
All
to?
these reality TV shows, I think they need to follow some of these ropers just a little bit more, and I think
I
that
do.
a really good show.
Like the full swing they did with golf, they need to do that with team roping. That would be so sweet.
Hilarious too.
Okay, so if you guys, because I mean you're on the inside, right? If you could pick, because the reality show's probably gonna need like 3 teams to follow.
Yep.
Who's the 3 teams they follow?
Cody Snow, Jade Corgill for sure.
For
Number
sure.
one.
Snorkel.
Like that's what
Top
me and Trisha, we get along because we talk. You know, Corkill's a good friend of ours. And, he.
I do. I live at his
So,
place.
She
Yeah.
helps out a lot, helps him
In
travel and
Huckabee.
stuff like that.
Where's it at?
Yeah, I went over the 4th last year. We have traveled together quite a bit, and I have logged 0 miles behind the wheel. So I'm the best driver ever. I did have to drive from here after the BFI back to Huckabee because he flew out to San Angelo, and I was the only one left, so I did have to drive that.
The
But
horses were fed.
yes.
So we got Jade.
Okay, Jade and Cody.
Man, you know, Caleb and Junior would be a good team to follow around.
Yes.
Personality wise.
Personal and winning wise, what they do to see and to see their processes and how they do things and how they handle maybe not winning
What's
a
that
couple
thing?
days or whatever.
What's that show on HBO, Hard Knocks, where they follow the football players around, kind of the same deal, right?
Yeah.
I tell you, it'd be a good show.
Yeah, like that'd be cool, right?
Yeah.
Like kind of the same deal where they follow those guys around. So that's 2. We got Caleb, Junior, Cody, Jade. What else we got?
Else.
And if you're watching at home right now and you keep seeing me look over here, it's because I'm watching Brock Hansen rope on a badass.
Oh man, Brock is roping so good this
Dude, he
weekend.
lights out.
So good.
Tell you what, who would be a pretty fun team to follow a little bit too is Eric Rogers and Paul Eves. I got to follow, you know, Jade was a few years younger than me, and I got to watch him his whole career. Paul's the same way, Eric's the same way. Those guys are really funny, good dudes. They go play golf, they go do different things. And that's another thing that you and Jade have got to bond over a little bit.
Do play a lot of golf.
Yeah,
Like golf?
that's a very humbling game, and that's what I mean. You get to follow these guys around and get to see them. You know, like they're so good in the arena. You know, they rope so good, and then how bad they are in golf. You know,
Yes.
and then I think it's just a humbling thing.
I know a lot of
It
team
is.
ropers
Like-
at golf.
All of them.
Yeah, I know a lot of team ropers at
Yeah.
golf.
A lot of similarities, but different.
That little white ball in the hole.
Just drive yourself.
Power line around the horn.
Sure.
Yes,
It's simple,
exactly.
right? I don't understand the problem.
Put the ball in the hole, rope 2 feet.
Right, it's very
Super easy.
Easy, really.
Yeah. So those,
If I can do it, anybody can do it.
so those would be your 3, right?
Same.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that would be pretty cool, and then maybe I don't know some of the rookies going down.
I was gonna say like some of those younger kids too, to see how different
they're living their dream.
Yeah.
Like an
Like
18.
Hayden?
Yeah, like Brandon Payne would be good.
He's in his prime too. Yeah,
Oh,
Brandon Hall and Payne would be a
Yeah.
great team, you know. But like the younger guys are, like I said, the Caleb and Junior that have already won 2 world titles and doing good. To see what they kind of think about versus the young guys would be really.
Well, the reason I bring that up is like somebody like us, right? We watch. I mean, you guys know the inside a little bit more, but we watch these guys and they're so serious in the arena. Like, you know, you watch Caesar. Like I told him, man, before I met you, I was a fan because I'd watch you back in the box and you stuck your hat down like a bull rider. Like your ears were like blowed out.
I didn't want to lose my hat.
Well, right.
Like,
I'm not gonna wear a Stampede string.
Like you're ready to go 90 on Virgil right now, right? But you're back in the box on your heels, and it's like, so then you meet him and you're like, just a normal motherfucker, like, you know. And so like Eric Rogers comes on the podcast and we're talking to him, you know, and we're like, so what do you do like in your off time? And we're thinking he's gonna say play golf. He's like, oh, I drive a tow truck in Eloy. Like, you do what, bro? You drive a tow truck in Eloy? He's like, yeah, like I pick up cars. Like
I dropped the car off just right around the corner over here. I know the area.
I know.
And then we're like, well, do you ever get recognized? He's like, oh, this one dude said, man, are you Eric Rogers, the team roper? He's like, nah. Nah, a lot of people say that, though. A lot of people say that. I guess there's a lot of Eric Rogers tow truck driver lookalikes out here. I don't know. That would be cool, right? Because people, that's kind of what we try to do, too, right? Like, we bring them on and man, roping's badass. Like, don't get me wrong, these horses, we love to talk about the horses, but it's kind of like you want to get to know the dude.
Yeah.
Like, you know, what do you do when you're not roping or whatever? Like, we know you're a pro athlete. It'd be like if I ran into Tom Brady. I don't need to talk to you about how many touchdowns you scored.
Yeah.
I can hit Google.
Yeah.
I can hit Google and find out that. You know, what else do you do? Something to be cool. Yeah. Like lots of NBA players and stuff. They all play golf.
Yep.
They keep. I wonder if that's maybe to keep their mental game sharp.
I would think so. Golf is
keep your mental game sharp.
So sharp as a tack up here. I mean, come on.
Dude, you know who's a scratch golfer? Larry Adams. Brian Adams' daughter.
I believe it.
Oh, dude, she's bad. She won.
She gets that hand-eye coordination from her daddy.
Yeah. What she went? Texas State Championship or some crap, like a couple times.
Wow.
And like, yeah, and she's cool as hell too, Lariat. Shout out to Lariat.
That's cool.
Hey,
Good for you.
what about? Do you see any personalities that are the same when you're dealing with all the professional kind of? They're all different. Right?
They're all different.
You get to deal with barrel racers and stuff too, right? The
Yes.
breakaway ropers. You get to deal with every aspect of them, and like that's what I like about Trish. She's kind of little in the back of it, just a little bit, but she's one of the most important people. They call like everybody's got her phone number. They call her all the time.
Well, any roping event ain't shit without a rope.
Right, it's really hard
I'm sorry to break it
without a rope.
Gotta have it.
It's pretty.
It's a rule.
It's pretty important. And I guess the other thing is too, do you take a lot of input from these guys? Like I guess on the manufacturing side,
Right.
I'm sure all part of. But
Yes.
You take a lot of input from these guys.
I do a little bit, but they all know our King George, the rope king at our shop, George McQuain. They all know him, and George is very, very close with all these guys. So they take all of their suggestions, everything they think of, they go straight to George with it, which is perfect.
He's a mad scientist.
He is. He's
So
incredible.
Caesar, when you call King George, and you know whatever, like what's your conversation? Are you like, man, I tried this rope. This is what I think about it, or do you try like, I mean, because making ropes, they've got it down to pretty much a science, but that pretty much is a variable, right? So
Yeah.
you know, maybe the way they put it in a box or where they
And
ship
it depends on the time of the year too. So like if they're going to the Tolleson-Mack, they might want them tied a little bit different just for that instance, or a little bit different feel, or a different lay, or even switch ropes. Like Caleb Drigger's ropes with the power line all year. When he won the world the first time, he was using a train, and he hadn't used them all year. But that's what felt the best to him in that situation, in that setup.
So what do you do?
I've got to spend some time with George. He's a really good guy. I used classic ropes in the past and great ropes. George is, like I said, he's a mad scientist, and you can almost so guitar, when you're tuning it up, you know, the ding, 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 and like, so a roper can get a little bit of backswing, stiffer, little once ropes with kick, and he knows exactly what to do, like how to tune it just the way the machine, just the way they need it to get that rope that way. And then it's funny because they can make a softer rope in the mornings, and then in the evening times they might make a stiffer rope. Like it changes through the day.
Yeah.
So it's a lot to it. So when people say that I don't like the way this rope feels, listen, there's a lot to making this rope. It's hard. It's not easy.
And that's what, like, general consumer wise, if people write in on Facebook or whatever, and they're like, well, I ordered these ropes from so and so, and they were way stiffer than a soft or whatever, and it's like, okay, go back to that store where you bought them from. Ask them when they ordered them from us. Have they been in that store for a year? Have they sat there for a year?
Like
were they sitting in a box?
Were they side of the road? And
a rope is like wine. It's stiff and like it kind of gets
on
better.
the wall? Yeah.
I like them when they last. So if I can get a rope to last for months, that to me the rope will stiffen up a little bit. It's like you said, if a rope is sitting on the rack for a year, and you go to pick a soft up, that swing it, it's gonna feel like a medium soft.
That happens. I rope with a power line, and sometimes the year's got to be extra soft, sometimes the year's got to be medium soft. So I mean, even at my level, I see that.
Hey, it's gonna change from Texas, and then these guys are in the Northwest right now. So I'm sure Trish is getting a few calls to be like, hey, my ropes are a little bit different. I need you to send me this rope because we got 30 days left of rodeo season and it's coming to crunch time. Yeah. And I need this rope right now because this one ain't going to work. And the funny thing is that the weather in Texas right now is 100 degrees and you go to Ellensburg, Washington, this is a cool 65.
And humidity changes.
Yeah. It's nice out there. So like I said, that they're ordering ropes right now specifically for Washington, Oregon rodeos right now.
Another big topic that comes up a lot in rodeo is sponsorships, right? Like
Trish, talk to us about that.
Well, I mean, how does that go down? Obviously, we can look down there in the Shark Tank and see the who's who of the
sharks swimming around, tiger sharks, bull sharks, white tips, oceanic white tips.
We don't even know about, right? That just were bred in Guthrie, Oklahoma. Like there's new sharks.
We got land sharks over here.
Land sharks. But like, how does that work? And I don't want to throw anybody under the bus if they're sponsored by somebody else or whatever. So total disclaimer. But like, say Brock comes up to you, and I mean you've seen him roping lights out, and says, "Hey, I kind of want to start roping with plastic rope." But like, is it? Shit, this is Brock. I've watched him all weekend rope. I know who he is.
Yeah.
Versus like a guy that's an up and comer that's kind of struggling. I mean, how does that all work?
Everything is a unique situation. So we would never take somebody from a different rope company. We're not gonna do that. We have respect for everybody in our industry, and we're not gonna.
And classics.
We're not gonna shark you away from somebody else.
Kind of the G. I mean, you think rope? I mean, classic rope.
I mean, success is in your hands.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. Well, check out that. I believe in the future of team roping. With a faith born, not of words, but of deeds. Follow us at classicrope.com.
Good job. That was great.
Success is in your hands.
So you want a sponsorship? Or?
Take a rope this way.
No, but like, we're never going to take somebody from a different rope company. So if a guy that was sponsored by somebody else were to lay down that sponsorship, he has to make that decision on his own. He has got to leave on his own terms, stop wearing that patch on his own terms. And he's got to end that before he even approaches us. So you are taking that risk. You might be buying ropes at retail for the rest of your life if you drop that sponsorship, because you have no guarantee coming to us until you have dropped that sponsorship. But you have to be totally committed to what you are doing. We're not going to bobble back and forth with you on that. Up and comers, we have a number system for headers and healers of you have to be at this certain number at a certain age or a certain level. Events that you win, say bigger jackpots, whatever. Also,
this is what I know. Classic. If you want to get money, you have to make the national finals rodeo. You have to be the elite of the elite. Like some of the younger high schools that are like, hey, I'd like to get $5,000 and 20 ropes.
Me too.
Good luck.
Listen, you and a lot of, you know what I mean? Yeah, like,
I would love $5,000.
So like, you got to be realistic. Yeah.
That keeps your team the elite of the elite.
Yeah.
Right. And if you stick to that, I mean, it keeps it pretty solid. So
yeah.
That's kind of the business model. I mean, we're gonna roll up to the fight with the biggest, baddest boxers.
Yeah, and that's how you only see a few guys with the back patches on. You have to make the NFR to get a back patch, or say you win the BFI, or used to be the George Strait, or ropings like that. If you win those bigger ropings, the back patch can come into play, but it's mainly an NFR qualifier.
Derek's
back patch.
Derek's a classic guy.
Yes, sir. His whole career.
Yeah, his whole career.
He's a power line.
Power line his whole life.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's why guys that catch outside a little bit, we catch outside a little bit, and then power lines are where it's at. Well, I mean, I guess that's all I've ever used, so I don't really
Yeah.
I don't have a huge opinion, but they're for sure where it's at. So where's the future of team roping going, in your opinion? I mean, you're on the inside.
Hey, we got to go to Georgia for the junior high finals.
Yes.
Shooting.
And I mean, I'm telling you, it looks pretty good. The future looks bright.
It's very good. And that's what is so impressive with these kids that come from all over the nation. And you go to
Mike
that,
Camelot.
he's reps very well.
He's a cactus.
Yeah, he is cactus, but he reps very well. Mickey Northcott.
Cool. But that's cool, right? You can still say, yeah, the dude's with cactus, but he can rope.
He ropes great.
He ropes really good.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think that, like I said, that comes with being the G. That comes, I mean,
Yep.
you guys are the old school.
But it's impressive to me to watch like those junior high kids when you bring them from all over the country and you go to those nightly jackpots they have that go till 3 a.m. And the steers are not going to be ideal for the entire week after they've been roped 500 times a night.
Nice.
And these little kids just go out there and lay the smack down on them. It's such tough roping.
Yes.
It's exciting.
Yeah, Caesar tells us all the time that little Mike's been laying the smack down on him since he was like 11.
I was telling her too. We were talking about earlier. Jade Corkill was doing that when I was kind of, like I said, a few years older, and I'd go to California to the LA rodeo, roping over there. They had city industry, and this guy would wear you out.
Yeah.
And he was just a little bitty guy.
Yeah.
So like I said, I think the future is doing really good. I'm just
And it's growing. The whole industry, just horse prices, everything. It's getting to be very, very large. And
Who's the up
it's
and
headed
comers
that
you
way.
don't know about? That you know about?
I can't tell you my secrets.
Gotta drop the dime on somebody. I mean, whose kids out here is gonna be the next one?
Man, I think Nikki Northcott has got it.
That dude's
Big
stud.
time, which that's no
Yes.
secret.
Yeah, that dude's the stud. Denton Dunning,
Yep.
little Mike.
Yep.
there's Kobe Corkill. I see him quite a bit.
100%.
I follow his goat roping career quite a bit.
Yeah.
Little Nicky, he's a goat roper too.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I try to tell all these
Dude,
people
it
that
always gets back to the goats.
We had 120 goats at our house.
I'm telling you,
I-
if you want to get better at your roping, you have to get good at, you have to catch a goat.
Yeah.
If you can catch a goat, steers are
Easy.
gonna be easier. I'm not saying they're just like
Yeah.
they're gonna be way easier. They move slower than a goat. So,
Yeah.
but it's funner too. And like the horse, you can take the horse element out of it and just
And it's a workout.
rope into your heart's content. And then you can be like, man, I'm getting tired after about 5 or 6. Like, yeah, you can see what your horse is feeling like too. After you're running 30 over there, like your horse is sweaty. You probably should give him a break too. That's
Yes.
kind of why I started to realize, my horse probably shouldn't run that many.
Yeah.
Rope the goat.
There are 2 kids from North Dakota. The Carsons, Cashin and Cannon and Cashin Carson
Okay.
from North Dakota, and they rope very, very well. They're kind of a secret, I think.
What else is there to do in North Dakota
Right.
for half the year?
Freeze to death.
Inside?
Freeze to
Yeah.
death.
I bet them boys probably travel a little bit.
They do a little bit, and then they build like calving sheds and stuff in
Oh,
the
cool,
wintertime
yeah.
and sell them, so they have entry fee money for the summer.
There you go.
Yeah,
I like that.
they're pretty cool.
I can make you rope sharp, huh?
Yep, for sure.
So Caesar's coming on here telling us about gotta rope the goat, right? And I'm thinking, okay, yeah, I've seen the video. Like, what's your goat, Beyonce?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's roping Beyonce, all this type of stuff. So I'm at the sale barn in Wilcox, and we buy a bounty goat. It's got like these big horns, and there's a lady down there named Kayla, and she puts on the junior rodeo, the goat ropings, right? And I said, hey, look, you buy that goat? I said, I'll buy that goat. I said, we're gonna put a bounty on him. So we put a bounty on him. Everybody ropes him. Didn't you? Did your brother win it?
No, he drew him. And,
He drew him.
And the healer missed him.
Yeah, the dealer missed him. Right.
Dealers are starving to death every time.
So now my real job in the world is I process.
What do you do?
Yeah, I have a beef processor.
Oh, cool.
So like I get calls all day long. People this and that, cattle, whatever. We're buying cattle to feed them, we're moving them, whatever we're doing. Not that exciting. I buy a bounty goat at Wilcox for a $150 bill. I never got so many calls from so many pros in the PRCA wanting to buy the bounty goat. Caesar's like, dude, I heard that's your goat. Dude, I need that goat. And I'm like,
his horns come up, they curled and went straight out.
Yes.
You know how hard it is to get that?
Yeah,
They want to come back. They went out like a regular roping strap. I'm like, hey, how much for that thing?
Dude, so I'm thinking to myself, like, man, we should sell this to the highest bidder, right?
Kind of a
like,
goat
that's
auction.
the business thing kicks in, and then, so by the time it was all done, we did something. Anyways, it ended up at Coulter's house. So Coulter's kids are roping it, right?
How about Coulter making the NFR?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Off the bench, bro.
Awesome.
He's one of my favorite hitters of all time, and now one of my favorite healers of all time.
Right.
So
Speaking of switch enders.
So I got some cool stories in my life. Nothing is as cool as the story of him roping the bear.
Yep, that's a
Coulter
pretty good. I got some good stories with Coulter, but
Like a black bear?
We got time.
that one's up there. You ever heard the story about?
You ain't heard
Coulter?
the bear? Oh, so you don't
I've
like and
not
subscribe then? That's cool.
You need
No,
to like
that's
and
cool.
subscribe. Maybe
I
give us
do.
some. Maybe listen every now and again.
Like and subscribe because we're cool as shit.
Now.
There you go. There you go.
The bear story with Coulter.
Coulter is one of my favorites because we're always roping stuff out there. We're chasing antelope, we're chasing coyotes. We're always roping stuff. But like this is when he was out by himself. He's checking some fence line, doing some stuff, and the bald ridges is what they call the pastures out there. There's not really any trees or nothing, just grass up there. And he said he was walking his fence line. He seen a bear in the clearing out there. So he said he had his rope, his dogs, just him by himself. I mean, at the ranch, there ain't no excitement out there. It's 30 miles of dirt road to get to his house. There's no excitement out there, but this right here, this is it right here. So, he told me the whole story, and I was like, I'm there with him, I mean? Like, I know the whole place, I've been around Colt so much, so I was like, I'm right here in the shoulder. So he said, so I got him lined out. I went to chase him, and at first, my horse pinned its ears. I thought it was a calf. I thought we're going to earmark a calf. We do that all the time out there, too. So his horse pinned its ears and was getting after the bear, getting to it. He said he got about a coil away from it, 2 coils away. He said the horse must have got wind of it. And he said it ducked. And he said when he roped, he said he was hung out in the right stirrup because he really wanted rope. He, like when the head horse is ducked, he reached like that and the bow fell off. You know what I mean? He got way out in that stirrup. And he said he got something. So he tries to down at the same time. And it realized he wasn't really cinched up very good. So it starts, and so his horse gets to humping up and bucking. And he's still kind of not really in the saddle, so he's a little bit not doing good. So he tries to let go of it, and it's kind of hung up on the saddle. So like his horse, he falls off, and the horse the rope ends up coming off. But like the bear still has the rope on. His horse is gone, and he goes to stand up, and his leg is not working. He goes to stand up, his knee's not working very good. So he sees them dogs get after that bear and kind of chased around a little bit. Well, they're circling that bear back to him. And so,
like they're trained to do with the calf.
So what he does is he gets out his pocket knife and he kind of sneaks back up to a tree, and he's leaning back up to a tree. And he gets his pocket knife out. He can't move. He's just sitting there. You know what I mean? He says, "All right, this is how I go."
Stab a bear.
And all of a sudden, he said his dogs get after this bear right in front of him. You know what I mean? They kind of scrap a little bit, and they head him out the other direction. I don't think the bear seen him right there. You know, but he said he was going to fight this thing. And so he's
ready to roll.
Kind of halfway is the best part about it. Is like that's just a half of the story. And I was like, man, that's a great. He says, oh no, you got to listen. I said, okay. So he said, so I scramble up there. My horse just eats grass. I kind of get up there, and I'm having a hard time getting up on my horse. And so I'm riding back to the house. And I'm riding. I get to the barn there, and I go to get off, and I can't. He says, I can't walk. So I stumbled down right there, and Papa, that's his grandpa. Papa sees me. You know what I mean? And he knows Coulter. He don't get bucked off. Yeah. I'm like, he's what happened? You know, what happened? You know what I mean? What happened? What's going on? And so he's, I was riding underneath the tree, and the rope got caught, and the horse bucked me off, and he kind of looked at him a little bit. It's kind of all right. He didn't buy it. You could tell he didn't buy it, but he said all right.
And he didn't have his rope.
Yes, he didn't have his rope. That's another thing too. Like Coulter, like that's what us boys. We were roping everything out there, so we always had our ropes out, and that's what Papa would always tell us. Hey, put your rope back on your saddle. put your rope on your saddle. But like we're always roping everything. And so he says, "Where's your rope?" He's like, "Oh, I lost. I left. I got hurt my leg.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
A couple weeks later, Papa comes riding up, and Coulter's just starting to work a little bit more now. His knee's starting to work a little bit. He's over there messing with a horse, shoeing a horse. He's working with a horse. Papa walks up. Notice he's got 2 ropes that he's packed in. One of them is his rope that he roped the bear with. He grabbed the rope and he slammed it right there on the floor, right in front of his feet. You might want to tell me where that rope come from, son. Where that rope was hung to, son. And so he told him the whole story, and Papa's pretty cowboy. He kind of laughed. He's like, "It was a good thing I found it, because you know what I mean. I took care of it. You know what I mean. You don't want to have the game wardens come up and have a rope. You know what I mean? A bear with a rope. They're gonna know exactly where to come. We're the only ranch.
That commercial.
We're the only ranch for miles. They're gonna know exactly where to come. You know what I mean?
That's a whole new market for you guys, right?
It is.
Yeah, rope and bear.
So that's Coulter's bear story. It's a pretty good story. Like I said, I felt like I was right here in his shoulder. Like I'm like, man, why did you even like?
Where at? By the 3rd mesquite tree?
I was always the guy like, I don't know, I don't want to do this. He's, come on, let's go do this. Like roping antelopes or coyotes.
Nobody would have guessed that for a million years. That Caesar was the guy saying no, and Coulter was the guy.
So you've been around Coulter just a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how quiet, mellow. You go talk to him over here, very, very. He's sociable. Great guy.
Yeah.
But when you get him on the ranch, this guy is
Just
crazy,
comes alive.
wild, man.
Let's loose.
Rides broncs, like he does all. He like has such a good time. Goes and catch wild cows with Begay, like. He is wild out there. Like you get him in public, he's like real good guy. Like like he used to love watching me get bucked off. That was Coulter's favorite thing. It was daily.
I seen this picture
Couple times a
the other
day.
day of them sitting at a rodeo together, and Derek and Coulter sitting side by side. Both had blue denim snap shirts on, and
They're uniform.
It's a
both
uniform.
chilling like this, right? And they're looking at the arena out there, and it's like, man, they should have had one of those bubbles like in the old cartoons, because both of them are thinking, man, I hope a bull jumps out. Man, I hope a bronc busts through the gate. Like, just something.
Something to do.
Yeah, right? They're sitting there going, I guess we could rope this steer. We're already here. But, man, if a bull could just get out. Like, the running through the parking lot. Something cool.
That's Begay right now because it's too hot to go catch cows in Arizona. So he's like really dreaming about it.
Yeah, he's supposed to. Yeah, he's supposed to catch some for us off Fort McDowell, put him in the feedlot and run through. We have a whole deal working, but that's what he said. He said, man, it's hot. It's so hot.
Can't go out there. Once it cools off, that's where he'll find him.
When it cools off, you better have the gates open and ready for him, because they're going to be coming.
Yep.
Yeah, that dude's pretty cool.
A couple years ago, we took Colby to a jackpot in Mineral Wells. Or Jade took him and I met him there. I was coming back from a show somewhere, so I stopped in and was going to watch, and I showed up, and Jade's got his Canadian tuxedo on, and I'm like, and this felt hat, and it is pretty hot out. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I think I'm going to be Coulter Todd for Halloween this year. I'm like, perfect.
Perfect. Put a little dirt on that shirt. Make it look like you're working.
Just practicing your Halloween outfit.
So, how many Coulters and Derek are there in this game that you see? Like, I mean, guys, legit, like if bulls got out.
Those two.
Yeah, they say Brock's pretty handy outside.
Yeah,
there's a lot of guys that are handy outside, but just Derek and Coulter are just, you could group them.
Begay does it for a living. Like, he goes and catches them and like, he'll raise them to the sales. Like, he does the whole deal.
If you're doing like what you said, Derek or Coulter do, like you're out there by yourself, you have to love it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I sure like it, but I don't think I love it to the level those guys do.
Yeah.
So
I learned how to talk to God out there at Coulter Ranch because there's not much entertainment right there. You just learn to just talk.
I grew up on a ranch in Faith, South Dakota. Faith, South Dakota, right outside of Sturgis.
Okay.
And my dad would send me out across the pasture, and I'd have to bring pears back or find whatever I could find and bring it back or not find anything. And so when I went to college, my coach was like, you talk to yourself a lot. And I'm like, I've rode 500 miles by myself. I have to talk to myself. There's nobody else going to talk to me.
Makes perfect.
I have got to be my own best
I would have went crazy out there if I didn't talk to myself.
If it wasn't for me, I'd be crazy.
Did you answer your own questions? Like you asked questions, answered your own questions?
I'm sure.
Multiple personalities. I'm never alone.
I'm not saying I have a disorder, but...
So what do you think about events like this?
This is, I think this is very good. I think after team ropers and maybe our open guys and maybe more amateurs will see the format and the payout after this year, and I think it's going to continue to grow because this is such a great setup. Just like Jake Cooper yesterday, I was talking to him, the roan horse that he made it back on in the heading. This is the first time it's been anywhere, and he's at the bottom of the platinum level. Mm-hmm. But he gave that horse any chance to make it back to the short round.
So what's the third D? Is that the gold? Oh wait,
platinum, gold, silver.
I believe so.
Yeah, so that big head horse that Trevor was riding yesterday that I said I really liked, he's like, yeah, he's like 7, so he was the top of that. And he said, but that's the kind of horse. He said, I roped on that horse at the BFI. He said, Tristan can take it and go rope on it anywhere. So, and we were talking to a guy yesterday that come here for the sale, and he said, the reason I like to sit here and watch these horses is I watch them yesterday because a lot of the healers are healing some horses. Yeah. I watch them roping today. And then by the time they get to the sale, you kind of got an idea where that horse's head's at, right? He's took some lights, big jerks, fast runs, things like that, and the loud, sounds. He says, you know where they're at.
Yep.
So he really liked it. I think it's a super cool event. It's the first one I've been to.
I do too. I think it's very, very cool.
Cool. All right, well, we'll let you get back to covering the event, and we sure appreciate you coming by and talking to us.
Thanks, guys. It was fun.
Thank you.